Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Reddit Roundup. We've got another couple of stories for you, and if you guys don't know, I'm Alex from Slow Your Roll.
And I'm Cody over here. I'll kick it off because I've got one extra story at the end, which is important, by the way. Stick around for that one. But here we go. I'm going to start off with our first one here. This one is called Can't Even Get My First Session Started.
Oof.
This one's going to be sadly relatable, but
Yeah.
Here we go. So, I'm a brand new DM, and I have a homebrew I was hoping to get started and to just go off of for the time being. People of interest for the game are wife, player A, player B, and player C. Yeah, I had a few people who were going to join, my wife included, and I had the time, date, and location all set a couple of months prior to the session. It doesn't help that I had a struggle trying to get everyone's character made, excluding wife. Hers was made basically on the spot. Player A was very reluctant and non-communicative towards me and had other things he was busy with, but still seemed like he was interested, so I thought, sure, why not? Give him some time and work with him when it's best for him. Player B communicated and worked with me to get his character set in stone, and it was generally a breeze with this player, and I appreciated it. Player B, you're the DM's godsend. We all live for player B.
Sometimes it's just like, hey, can I do this? Yes. I'm so glad you have an idea.
Literally. Always be a player B. You're the best. Okay. Player C was a bit later, but he seemed excited to play and was going to work with me on getting his character made, but unfortunately he got sick. But at least he told me hours beforehand, so no problem there. I would have added him in session 2. And now to where it hurts. I was excited to get people to come in and get started. So I told people beforehand to get some food so they don't get hungry during session, because at the time I lacked in the currency department to suffice everyone, and they knew. So player A said he would have come and we were going to work on his character together. By the way, he still didn't make his character, and it has been about a month or more.
Oh my gosh.
And he would come earlier than our designated time to get that figured out. He didn't. About 3 hours passed, and he still had said nothing, and player B said nothing. Player A said that his parents were making dinner, and he was going to eat, then come over. That was said 20 minutes after the designated time. So it was canceled, and I'm upset about this whole thing, and it just sucks, man. But I'm going to be looking for new players alongside my wife.
Okay.
That's it.
Man.
Just a bummer.
Yeah, it's another one of those stories where it's like, all right, so I have the want to play this game. Do the people around me want to play this game? Hard no.
Yeah. And that is the hardest part, too, because you always know, again, like it kind of goes back to like the person that's willing to be the DM is often the most passionate, because they're like the ones that's like, I will do the hardest job to make sure that we play. You know what I mean? And it's just like, yeah, no one else cares, though, unfortunately. So that's my first one out of the way.
So I'm going to go with Dad's not coming home with the milk. It's labeled a meta discussion.
Very good.
All right, so he starts off with a warning that says, I am dyslexic, so sorry if any of the formatting or words is not how people would normally use them. So, all right, he's got a little bit of leeway here if something sounds weird.
Yeah. Don't hate on this guy in the comments. He's asking for a pardon, for crying out loud.
I was a player in a boombox campaign, but didn't see the problem until about yesterday. Me and the other players have been playing in this campaign for months, and we are disappointed in the DM. We've only leveled up once, from 2 to 3, and we've played 6 to 7 sessions now, with special sessions throughout. I've made animations of moments in the session that it has its own playlist on my channel now.
Oh, cool.
Right. The problem is he's not good with communicating with his players. He would say, game time, a go, but it was time, nothing. I'm going to assume he meant, apparently time meant nothing to him, because
right.
we would wait
for
hours just gathered in the voice chat and sit like ducks. Then he would finally say, sorry guys, XYZ happened. And, we would all understand, but this happened every single Sunday. And the ridiculous part about it is, one time he even hosted the game from the hospital.
What?
Right. We told him he didn't have to, but he said it was fine.
Wow. Okay.
Trooper here, I guess.
Yeah.
Only on that one day, though.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But
That's the one day he like fully had the excuse, and he's like, nah, let's do it.
But the main problem ahead. 5 Sundays ago, the DM told us prior that we were going to be doing a new campaign because the old one was too mentally taxing on him. We waited 5 whole weeks for him to turn us down each time for the campaign, just to have a session 0. That session 0 was never going to happen. Just last night, he finally tells us that he can no longer DM. I would be more sympathetic if it wasn't for the fact that Alien, I'm going to assume it's Alan, a player found a post in another server of Boombox asking for other players. Us, as the players, Sunday sat in voice chat discussing this. We all came to the conclusion that the DM was avoiding us. Him finally saying that he would not be our DM confirmed it. But honestly, man, that does suck. I didn't get to hear any of the hey, maybe you were kind of not cool to the DM, but at the same time, a flaky DM who kind of doesn't put effort into the campaign, I guess, is kind of what I'm getting off from that. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be good. You don't have to be a good DM, but if you're able to be there on time, that's like step 1 at being good, If you're able to just be there and try, that's kind of like where you start, really. So if that part's too hard consistently, then it's fair. Maybe the guy actually did just have a bunch of stuff going on, and in that case, it's like, you should have told him sooner,
Right.
Don't get their hopes up, but it is what it is. It can just be tough.
Yeah, and the funniest thing is the TLDR says, DM says he's coming home with the milk. He, in fact, wasn't coming home.
That is pretty funny, because it's already the title, and it doesn't actually give any details at all.
Yeah.
But either way, that's pretty good. I like that. All right, let me sip my sip.
All right. There's no real comments other than the fact that people are confused by the milk reference. And you sheltered child, I'm so happy for you.
Yeah. Okay. Oh my gosh, my eyes are all watery. I'm so sad from that one. No, I'm just kidding. Here we go. Next on the list, this one is called A Player and DM Calls Me a Griefer When I Accidentally Yoinked a Trap. Here we go. One-shot homebrew 5e D&D. So there's a crypt, and there's 6 of us. Above the party is a bundle of ropes hanging from a dark ceiling. Naturally, my 8 intelligence of a character would think it's probably something hidden above it, so he wants to pull it down. Mind you, I even asked the party if I should pull the rope, and the cleric even cast guidance to roll athletics to jump high and reach it. Only then, when the DM described that it was a trap and everyone panicked and kept asking if they could stop my character from pulling the rope, the DM said no, which is, kind of fun. I understand that. If you're going to commit to it, oh, you already said it, that can be fun in the right crowd. That's okay.
Yeah, no. There really shouldn't be take-backsies.
Right. Okay, so next. So, boom, a creature fell from it, and now we have a deadly encounter, and someone nearly died. If only I didn't pass him my inspiration, which allowed him to save against its deadly effects. Suffice to say, when we won against it, but then some player kept lecturing me about, quote, how the rogue should do it instead of you, end quote. Like, bro, you and others had 20 full seconds, and even asking them in character if I should do it, no one batted an eyelash throughout the whole time, and not to mention guidance, too. After the session, DM even told me what I did was very annoying and frowned upon. How am I supposed to know if it's a trap? For all I know and care, that rope must be an object or stash the previous raiders/adventurers tried to pull but failed along the way anyways. Did I just get told for not metagaming? What the heck? Edit. Grammar and more context. Edit. The objective of the party is to clear the crypt of the horrors that lurk within to stop troubling a nearby town. Okay, so that's that.
I mean, it's a decent amount to break down. I feel like maybe a few people might have actually told them not to do it, and then they're like, no, I'm good. And then somebody was like, all right, guidance. YOLO. But also,
Yeah,
like, you should never get, like, berated for doing literally anything in the game unless it's, like, detrimental to somebody outside of the game. Or, like, you're just being a turd, you know?
Yes. I totally agree. Okay, there was one point. Okay, so the only time I think that it's like maybe okay to just be like, what the heck? Why would you do that? Is if it really was like they knew the consequences and the consequences were super immense. Like it meant the death of a player character, something like that. There are times when I think metagaming is okay, and that's one of them.
Right. If somebody's trapped in a spike pit and you have a lever right next to you, don't pull the lever that, like, makes the wall smash together.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of on all the players and maybe even the DM too at that point to just be like, listen, hold on, that's going to end it, like right here. You know what I mean?
I always, like, try to find the, like, cracks to see what they're not saying. But, like, surface level, It doesn't really seem like this person did literally anything wrong.
Yeah, I totally agree. Who's to say, again, that we're not missing parts of the story? And we're gonna eventually come up with a common phrase or phenomenon name for that because it happens like almost every story. But yeah, I got a little bit of a story. So there was when I first started watching Critical Role, right? It was in campaign 2, and there was a part where Liam, there was someone that was unconscious. Oh, that's what it was. It was Bo, Marisha's character, was like being held by a troll, and every time the troll took damage, it like secreted this acid that hurt stuff around it. And Marisha's character, Bo, was like grappled by the thing. So it was like holding her. So if the thing took damage, she was getting hurt. And it got to the point that she was unconscious. So there was a point where everyone was like, okay, it was Liam's turn. He's like, all right, Liam, what are you doing? And, everyone was kind of quiet. And he's like, I guess I'm going to hit it with magic missile. And instantly I was like, wait, hold on, stop. It's like, you can't do that. You can't do that. And there was a few people at the table that kind of like made that face, but no one actually said anything. And I was like, holy crap. Like, there's no way that, they're just gonna, just like out of not knowing that would kill her, because it'd be like 3, different steps of damage, which is technically like 3 fails. So just kill her kind of thing, But anyway, that's the time when I think it's okay, even as the DM, to metagame and be like, hold on, you know how this spell works, or at least your character does. That will kill her if you do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Sometimes you got to remind the players of things that they would know in the first place.
Yes, because sometimes your characters know stuff, and your character would know how magic missile works if you can cast it.
Right.
Wow, sorry, that was a big rant, but...
No, that's good.
I know there's people watching that seen that scene, and they were like, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. That would have killed her, so... Anyway, that's it for me.
Hey, I got another one for you. And instead of this person being dyslexic, apparently the DM in the story was.
All right.
So, illiterate DM horror story. That's actually what it's called.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that wasn't just you being mean?
No. And they didn't say they were dyslexic. I was just trying to make a relation.
Oh, okay.
My first ever time playing D&D years ago, me, the only woman, and 6 other dudes recently finished high school and decided to start a campaign. We decided to meet every Saturday at my boyfriend's house. I invited my best friend and his friend. My boyfriend invited his best friends, who we'll call B. I hadn't spoken to B very much, but he was in most of my classes my entire life. He didn't talk much. We had one altercation because he saw that I had a Panic at the Disco shirt and grilled me about how I don't listen to real music, how the only acceptable rock bands were Kiss and AC/DC. So one of those guys.
Yeah, of course.
They are good, though.
Yeah, yeah.
I was a bit weary of B. B made a group chat and let us know that before the meeting, everyone must bring 1 food item to share and our prepared character sheets. My best friend and I were both new to D&D, but did plenty of work making our characters, even drawing them and giving them backstories. I happily showed up to the game night with my tiefling rogue, who was your common local thief and scammer. Immediately after we presented our character, B chews me out for making a tiefling in this part of the world that was apparently a wood elf region. Not only...
Okay.
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay.
Like,
Wait, hold on. You're telling me you made a character that's in a from a weird place in this fantasy game?
You're telling me you don't know about the world that I've crafted in my head?
Okay.
No one was told any information about our campaign beforehand, and we all argued with the DM, but he insisted that my character has to stay hidden from local NPCs unless I wanted to be captured or tortured. However, our other party members included a Goliath, an Aasimar, a Turtle, and Charles Xavier from the X-Men straight up inserted into the game. But my tiefling wasn't allowed. I'm super, super curious about Charles Xavier.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
Right, there's just no backup for that, so we're moving on.
Okay.
We continued on to begin the actual story. B pulls out the book and starts reading, but he can't read. We are all 18 to 19 years old at the time, and he can hardly read. He was in the same classes as me. We're all native English speakers who grew up in the same small town. He, as far as I know, has no disabilities of any kind. 3 of us are high-functioning autistics, but he was not one of them. He insisted on being DM despite the other 3 members having DM experience. And he can't read. That's in all caps. So
Okay, right. Just emphasizing.
Yes. B reads us something like, everyone is sitting around the local tavern, drinking and mingling with other adventurers. Suddenly, a noble-looking mad enters the bar with promises of gold for anyone willing to find a relic for him. He could not pronounce several of the words and had to ask for help because he wasn't familiar with the word mingling. My best friend accidentally laughed at this. Rude on his part, I know, but to be fair, we were hardly adults and this was surprising. Both my boyfriend at the time and B immediately started cussing us out. My best friend leaves and we continue on, and B has my character. As we continue on, B has my character. We all started out at level 3, by the way, killed by our first battle by a level 8 goblin. And I can't be revived.
What?
And that's where the story ends. There's no...
Oh, that's just the end.
I know, right?
Okay, all right. Well, maybe, okay. Maybe it's good that the story ended there but maybe there was nothing left to say. Like maybe they just never met again and and hopefully they've moved on to better groups now. Wow.
Yeah, I truly only hope that's the case.
Yeah. That one's kind of crazy. There was like several times where I'm like, wow, I need to be careful how I react to this. And then I was like, oh, wow. Because it was like, okay, the guy can't read. And I was like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Whatever, sometimes. But he's trying to do it anyway, and he insisted on doing it. And then she said, I think it was a she in the story, right?
Yes.
So I think, and then she said that 3 of them were high-functioning autistic and that he wasn't one of them. And I was like, wow. Okay. Like that's... I don't know, that's just a lot going on. That's very interesting.
No, totally agree. And yeah, I would say maybe the original poster might be a little bit overcritical about like this person's reading comprehension, but at the same time, I guess it could be like one of their triggering things.
Could be, absolutely.
But also kind of you should take a joke as a DM. Well, not as a DM, but like as a 19-year-old adjusted adult, you should be able to take a joke if someone giggles when you say horrendously instead of horrendously, something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? Listen, nobody's perfect.
I mess up half of my sentences. I mean,
literally this video, there's going to be so much editing just because me and you are both messing up the stories the whole time we're talking. So hopefully you viewers won't be seeing all that. But it is what it is. I
will say though, what the heck? A level 8 goblin? I've never seen one of those.
Man, that's impressive. That's like, I can't even think of what level 8 creatures there are, but I know they're up there.
It's stronger than a water elemental.
Yeah, there you go. See, there you go. That's impressive. All right. Okay, well, here's the surprise last story, and it's a surprise because it was not one that we pulled off of Reddit. It's one that we pulled directly out of our comments section. So shout out to Swift Justice for leaving us this one.
Nice.
Here we go. My friend Alex got excited to play D&D with our regular group of 3.
I did.
We helped him make a... Yeah, see? I know. He's already right. Okay. We helped him make a simple barbarian and started a new campaign with one of our players, Dan, as the DM, and our forever DM, Phil, eagerly playing a hyper min-maxed Gambit wannabe. I'm guessing that's like Gambit, like from X-Men Gambit.
Oh, 100%.
Right? Something like that. So, something like that. We were in a spooky farm at night and heard a scream. Alex wanted to investigate, and we followed the sounds to some bandit types with magical-looking scythes. Dan told us the weapons looked scary, but the bandits looked frail. Phil laughed, assuming we were about to nab some magical weapons. Alex charged in, using the feats and tactics we had suggested, and got hit by the scythes, which turned out to do attribute damage. He lost like 8 points in every stat in his first round of combat in his first game of D&D. He spent... Yeah, that's impressive. That's huge. He spent most of the fight writhing on the floor in agony.
Right. If you only got 2 strength, you can't even pick up your feet.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. Okay. When we looted the scythes... What a terribly difficult word to say. Scythe, plural, scythes. Okay. When we looted the scythes, they didn't work for us. They became mundane scythes.
No.
Later in a market, yeah, that's the worst part. Later in the market, Alex grabbed an apple from a stand and tasted it. The apple lady turned out to be a witch, and she doomed Alex permanently, which is another -2 to all rolls.
Just tell that guy to stop playing at your table then, huh?
Yeah, we're getting there. So, I don't remember what I said, but I also grabbed an apple and bit it in solidarity. So, like, really, this guy's just like, well, crap, I guess I'll eat one too.
Yeah.
Which, you know, is kind of awesome, because it's like, if this guy's going to suffer, I'm going to suffer with him. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a cool idea anyway. Like, that's a cool concept anyway. But... like, even mechanically in game, that means that if the DM's doing it right, like, all of the challenges should be dropped to be, like, for the average player in the party. So, like, technically, he's, like, by joining in and biting an apple himself, he's, like, dropping the average of the players by doing that. Which, you know, from DM mechanics and stuff, that's just a cool idea. So, yeah. Good on him. Yeah, so the witch permanently increased my charisma for being bold. Later, the ruling god of the setting, who was evil, decided Alex had insulted him for some reason and appeared in the sky to declare his hatred of Alex and his intention to hound him forever. WTF. Until that day, I thought Dan liked Alex. Alex never played D&D with us again. The end.
Man, what the heck?
Yeah, that was a good one. Thank you, Swift Justice, for that.
Right.
for that train wreck.
Yeah, at least I'm going to assume that Swift Justice was the one to take a bite of the apple. But, man, solidarity there is pretty awesome. But also, what's up with Dan?
Dude, I don't know. Dan's a bad man.
Dan the bad man.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate you guys checking out these videos. And if you like this format, please let us know down in the comments. And don't forget to leave your own D&D horror stories too. Are you wearing a merch shirt?
I'm not.
Okay.
But I can definitely put them on screen somewhere.
And if you haven't seen, guys, check out the new merch. We got a couple of shirts coming your way. Hopefully they'll be on the screen now.
Oh, they're right there.
I'll see you guys later.
I'll see ya.